Live from Studio 3, and then heavily edited for content, it's Bucco Banter. Introducing your hosts, originally from somewhere near Newcastle and now being a good husband and father when he's not running off by himself to PNC Park, it's Fred Rossano. A Pittsburgh Pirates fan since before he was born and still residing in his parents' basement when he's not sleeping in the Pirates clubhouse, it's Matthew Peaslee. Finally, he may look like a piece of plastic on a stick, but he has a life of his own, and he's the real expert on Bucco Banter. It's Pirate Panda!
Welcome back. It's Season 2 of Bucco Banter, and we're pleased to bring you again our co-hosts for this year, Fred Rossano and Matthew Peaslee. Hello again, and welcome to Episode 2, Season 2 of Bucco Banter. I am your host, Fred Rossano, along with
your other host, Matthew Peaslee.
And Matt, we are at 6-8 on the season.
Yep.
What are your thoughts so far?
Coming off a sweep of the Brewers, which is kind of funny because for how many years did the Brewers just kill us?
Yep.
Home or away, and actually April 22nd, Earth Day, is the 5-year anniversary of the worst loss in Pirates history.
Oh,
really? The 20-0.
Man, you're filled with worthless stuff.
Yeah, I know. I was there. I was sitting in the bleachers. Earth Day, they gave you a free Earth Day Pirates t-shirt and a tree. They gave you a tree as soon as you walked in. It was a Thursday afternoon game.
What kind of tree?
I don't know. I threw it away. But it was pretty... What
was the final score?
20-0, and I stayed for it all. And it was
an afternoon game.
Thursday afternoon game. I skipped a couple classes when I was in college and drove up to go see that. And I still have the ticket stub because it was the worst loss. And as bad as it was just something cool to hang on to. But it was an ugly afternoon at the ballpark. But it's brighter days here for the Pirates because we come off a 3-game sweep of the Brewers this past weekend.
The Brewers are hurting, man. What are they? I think they're 2-11 right now.
2-12.
Plus, they have a bunch of guys hurt.
Yeah.
And they're.
I mean,
too bad.
Yeah, let's leave them in the dust. But The rest of the NL Central is very strong. Could be the strongest league in baseball, and the Pirates are seeing that now with the Cubs. They took 2 of the first 2 games here in that series, and we talked a little bit ago that the Cubs have just improved so much from where they were last year in the past couple years, and they're infused with young talent. And that Chris Bryant they just called up is the real deal.
I think he'll come back down to earth, but you're right. They've got some quality players. What's his name? Soler?
Oh, Soler. Jorge.
Soler.
Yeah, their outfielder.
Man, yesterday he just crushed the ball every time.
Yeah.
Every time. He's just crushing it.
And they still have Starlin Castro, who's probably still only 23, 24, but he's played for...
He's been that young, can he?
He's not 25 yet, but he's been in the league for a long time, and they just called up Addison Russell, who's highly talented.
A's. I remember they get into some margin.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. So it's a new look Cubs, and I mean the past couple of years the Pirates have had to battle with the Cardinals and the Reds. The Cubs are right there, and it's going to be even tougher for the Pirates to surge ahead and get to the top of that division.
Yeah, I think it is the best division in baseball. I mean, withstanding, like I said, the Brewers are really hurting right now, but look how they and that gets back to the Pirates are 6-8. And they're off to not a great start hitting wise, but it's a very, 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 very long season. Yeah, I mean, we say that all the time, but it's true. You can't. Yes, every game counts, but it seems like they count a lot more at the end. And last night was not one that you wanted to lose. That was probably number one of the heartache games that you thought you had won. But
hate to give ones away like that, and. The opening week when the Pirates were playing the Tigers, we had great pitching but no offense. And, a couple of nights the Pirates have been able to put some runs on the board.
But, it's weird. You remember a couple of years, I don't know if it was last year or the year before when they played the Tigers, they wound up – the Tigers came in just ripping the ball, and they wound up winning a couple games 1-0, I think, and doing the same thing that the Tigers did to them.
I think it was 2013, I think.
And that was the same year that they went out to Texas, I think, and they were hurting, and I think they swept them out there when Texas was red.
Yeah, I think they swept Texas and ended up one of those was like the 82 win clincher. They clinched the winning season in that series. So.
Overall, though, yeah, I mean, not overly impressed with the hitting. Obviously, hasn't come through. But
starting pitching's been
the areas that we thought were going to be the ones we could count on so far. The relief pitching and the hitting. We thought, that's going to be. We thought the starting pitching would be so-so, starting off at least, and we're kind of questioning it. And so far, they've been tough.
Well, we'll dive into some more topics and break it down for you in our next segment.
Okay. Matt and Fred, it's time for a new segment on Bucco Banter called 3 for 3. And take it away, Matt.
Segment 2 time. It's 3 for 3. So, Fred, you step up to the plate and knock one out with your first 3 for 3 item.
My first 3 for 3 is Kutch hurting? And I think he is.
Knee problem?
Yeah, I think it's his left knee. He said, one of the guys that was on one of the radio stations had said that after the games he's been putting a ice pack on that knee and was noticeably limping. And I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't know much about injuries, but is it something that's going to be nagging? Who knows? But if he's the key to the team. How he goes, the team's going to go. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like you don't see that excitement. You don't see it running around. I know he slipped around the bases the other day. It's a tough thing.
And you hate to lose him for even a 15-day disabled list spot if that's what it takes.
But yeah, you'd rather do it now. But I don't think it's going to be one of those things. I think it's just going to be something that's nagging him.
He's going to have to play through it all season.
If that's what started off in spring training that they were talking about, it looks like something that could be hindering him from time to time. But he's able to play through it, hopefully. But hopefully it'll go away. What are you starting off with?
Well, I'm starting off with the Pirates leadoff man, Harrison, leading off. First pitch he saw at Peaslee Park this year was a home run on opening day, and he led off with another home run in the bottom of the first inning against the Cubs earlier in the series. And he's batting just a little over 200, but I was at the game on Sunday, and he had 2 nice hits to get
I thought you were going to say, should he be batting leadoff? I don't know who else you would have.
I'm very positive. I'm very happy with him in the leadoff spot.
I don't know.
As a table setter.
I don't know who else you would put up there unless you go back to like Marte or somebody. I don't think anybody else fits up there.
I think he's doing a good job in his first full season starting because he didn't get this opportunity at this time last year.
They're all hitting below what they should be hitting. But my second is send Gong down, and I have a question mark after that. I'm thinking, even though he wound up with the big bases loaded double to knock in 3 runs. Yeah. I think the guy, in my opinion, at the beginning of the year when they said he probably shouldn't have said that this guy is not going down to AAA. And I know they said that he's better at – he's not a AA hitter. I mean, he's in the league he played in is probably better at being is probably AA or above.
Right.
But I still think that, he needs to play every day. I think what they had in mind was bring him up, let him get accustomed to the major leagues, and I really do think they're going to send him down because I think they're hurting him and themselves by keeping him up in the majors.
All right. And my next one was welcome to Pittsburgh, Jung Ho Gong. You touched on his big hit the other night. It looked like it was going to be the game-winning hit until we blow it in the 9th. But, that was a big hit in front of the home crowd to kind of say, hey, welcome to Pittsburgh. But you're right. He needs to get into a flow of things. And he's got that opportunity the past couple nights with Jordy Mercer being a little banged up.
And he got nailed in the chest, didn't he?
Yeah, that was that.
I thought it. What is this? There's sternum.
Yeah.
I thought he broke his sternum. The way he went down, and he literally had to be helped off the field. He couldn't walk.
I'm sure he lost breath, and he couldn't even barely stand up. That was scary. And you think he's pulling back from a bunt. He's not expecting it to hit him. He just knows it's going to be a little inside and drills him right there. But you're right about Gong. If he just need to see what he could do with AAA, because he's obviously a good hitter, but again, how good is the pitching he was facing in Korea?
And I still think it'd be a step up above.
What he was seeing over
Yeah.
there, even AAA.
Yeah. Which brings me to the ending of that game yesterday, and very worrisome. I had read about this about a week and a half ago. Melanson's velocity is down, and that's huge. That's huge. If you're throwing at 91, 92 miles an hour and it goes down to 87, that's a huge difference there.
Right.
That's like throwing batting practice.
Especially as a closer. Your closer shouldn't be having a 91 mile per hour fastball. I know the other night he was throwing in some changeup and curveballs just to because I think he realizes that he's lost some speed on that. That's worrisome as your closer.
And if that worries me more than all the guys in the lineup batting 200 right now or whatever they're doing, is because he doesn't go. That affects everything in that relief core there, and that's a big mess. If they can't, I think the most telling stat they said in the 2 years that he was the closer, he had never given up more than 3 runs in any outing. Yeah, and he's already done it twice this year
against the Tigers and the Cubs there. And my last one has to do with the catcher, Francisco Cervelli, with no batting gloves. You ever notice that he is one of the only players I think in Major League Baseball that doesn't wear batting gloves anymore?
Man, how's he survive?
Especially as a catcher too. It's all about his hands. But he's the team leading in batting with the 306 average now. So might be something to that.
Must have just never felt comfortable with it. I don't know. Like, did he use a glove in his catcher's mitt?
I haven't noticed that. So I'm going to check on that. Yeah.
Another meaningless statistic.
I look at it as an astute observation.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be back with another exciting, gripping segment of Bucco Banter. And we are thrilled to bring you another new segment on Bucco Banter called The Good, The Bad, The Ugly, and Ooh, I'm a Bit Worried. Take it away, Fred. And now it's time for another popular segment, The Good, The Bad, The Ugly, and Ooh, I'm a little bit worried.
Well, Fred, I'll start with this because I'm all 4 of those things. We'll start with the good, which is Starling Marte. In his last 5 games, he's batting .368 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. We talked on our last show, I think, just about how Starling and Gregory Polanco were struggling at the plate. But
he's still striking out way too much.
Yeah, but he's still one of the hottest hitters right now in baseball, and I think he's trending upward. So that Starling Marte is my good for the past week. The bad, something interesting or astute, or in your words, probably meaningless. The Pirates don't have any triples this year. They got some speed there with Marte and Polanco and even Kutch, even though he is still a little bit hurt. But the triple's such an exciting play in baseball, I think. It'll just be nice to maybe see what the Pirates get one across the board. But I think our first triple this year will be hit by Josh Harrison. Just a prediction.
It's very interesting.
But the ugly is Mark Melancon and the Pirates bullpen. We touched on this earlier. We thought it was going to be the strong suit of the team, especially with Melancon, who looked to be coming off a decent year last year, and Tony Watson and Jared Hughes. But collectively, the bullpen's 0-5 this year.
I didn't know that.
With a 4.2 ERA. They've given up.
That is interesting.
They've given up 20 runs in 40 innings. The bullpen. So that's pretty ugly, and you hate to, as a starting pitcher, you just hate to turn it over to the bullpen. That's not going to get you a win.
This is why Neil Huntington always says you can never want to pay a relief pitcher a whole lot of money because it varies from year to year.
Right.
And who would? Did you see Jason Grilli has 6 A's with the Braves? Six of them already.
And after stinking it up last year early on, but you can never know. It's a high turnover.
But again, that's those are some very ugly numbers so far. I'm sure they'll improve. I think they said that Watson's ERA in April has always been pretty bad.
And he gave up a home run the other night in the 8th inning. So you're right, it is ugly.
It is very ugly.
And now for I'm a little bit worried.
You got to put more. I'm a little bit worried.
I'm a little bit worried. I'll get there. It's a long season. I'll get there.
Ahead.
John Holtzcomb, remember that name?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, from the end of last year, the Pirates picked him up, and he did a solid job in the bullpen towards the playoff run. He started the year in AAA, and especially with the problems the bullpen's been experiencing so far early, I'm sure there's been a lot of people saying, "Oh, let's get John Holtzcomb up here. And he can figure out these problems." Not so fast, because with the AAA Indianapolis Indians, he's given up 6 walks in 2 innings, and he's hit two batters in those 2 innings and gave up 2 home runs.
That sounds like a Charlie Morton.
So I'm a little bit worried about that, because if he was going to be as good as he was last year, you would think that he could perform a little bit better early on, especially in AAA. Again,
we're talking about the area of the team that we thought was going to be the best, and so far they struggled.
And he,
maybe it is year to year. It's Holtzcomb really came out of nowhere.
Literally out of nowhere, like North Dakota,
in front of like 1,300 people.
Yeah,
and then he's pitching in the wild card game.
So maybe now we're seeing a little bit of regression in why he was pitching in front of 100 people in an independent league, and why nobody took a chance on him until the Pirates did last year.
Is that it then?
That's all I got. Yeah.
Well, this concludes another exciting episode of Bucco Banter. We will see you again in 2 weeks, and the next time we see you, hopefully the hitting will come around.
Pitching will come around,
and the starting pitching will stay the same, and the relief pitching will come back a little bit.
That's right.
The end. Something for you to aim to. Hey, look me over, letting me in here. 3, 2, 1, go. That's the worst smile. Can't smile like it. Yeah, that was smiling.
We should have a Little League Team of the Week. And get everybody to watch. So get all in your league. Let's get even rival teams. I'm not going to get rival teams. Little League player.
I like that we love Bucco Banter, though.
So put Kool-Aid up front.
Of course. Well, Metz has been putting it on Facebook.
Bucco Banter?
Yeah, well, the link.
Yes.
Are we on in Walmart yet?